Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have a pretty interesting episode for you guys. You definitely want to stick around for. So make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, I'm sure the majority of you know how I feel about Ben Simmons. For those of you who may be unaware of exactly how I feel about Ben Simmons, maybe some newcomers to the channel, I think Ben Simmons is one of the, let me just say it one more time, he is one of the laziest basketball players that we have had come through the NBA in quite some time. And some people will say, how are you going to say he's the late? Yes, I believe he is. If we're looking at players with that level of talent that has refused to improve over the last 4 years of his career, this is not debatable. If you want to know a guy that has actually taken his career seriously, you can go look at Giannis. Giannis went from averaging 7 points his first year in the NBA to last season, I believe he averaged around 30. That's somebody that takes the sport of basketball and the opportunity seriously. This is why I'm saying I'm comparing him to players on a similar level that he is. He's one of the laziest, and whoever feels the type of way, that's your bloody business. I'm not changing my opinion on that. Now, Ben Simmons, in my personal opinion, I believe is a perfect example of what happens when you start coddling and babying young dudes. This is what you get. This is what you get. He totally stunk up the joint in Philly, then found a way to blame everybody in Philly for his own shortcomings. Truth be told, are we having this conversation if Ben Simmons balled out in those playoffs? I don't think we are. And what ended up happening was he managed to turn himself into the victim, so therefore he couldn't face himself in the mirror and look at how poorly he was playing. Go look at the numbers. You cannot omit that out of this equation. He goes there, he stinks up the joint. He decides that he's not going to show up to work. Fine. He leaves, or he ultimately gets traded. Then he gets traded to the Brooklyn Nets, and for some strange reason, Brooklyn Nets fans were celebrating for this guy. I don't even understand why they were celebrating for him. They got him. Then, in the heat of the playoffs, he was teasing that he was going to come back and play. By his own words, like, yeah, I'm getting closer and getting closer. Then miraculously, all of a sudden, he couldn't play. And now, according to a report that we got via fadeawayworld.net, it seems that we're finding out that Kevin Durant himself was frustrated with Ben Simmons after he did this particular thing that I'm about to get into. But before we get into this article, this video is brought to you by sponsor Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the T-Wolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So let me get into what the article had to say here. Basically starts off saying the Brooklyn Nets are a team that notably disappointed in the playoffs this year, not winning a single game in the first round despite the presence of stars Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. They, however, were missing Ben Simmons, so perhaps things could have been different were he to have played. NBA insider Rick Bucher has recently revealed a story about the Brooklyn Nets locker room where the Nets players asked Ben Simmons if he would be willing to play in Game 4 following the Nets Game 3 loss to the Boston Celtics. Ben Simmons supposedly did not respond and subsequently left the group chat. That led to frustration from Kevin Durant, who rhetorically asked, "This is who I'm playing for." The article continues on. They're having a team chat before Game 4, thinking he's going to play against the Celtics. From what I'm being told, Ben just left the chat. They asked him, "Are you going to play?" Ben left the chat like he didn't answer the question, just left the chat. KD's like, This is what I signed up for. This is who I'm playing with. It's easy to see why Kevin Durant will be frustrated about not getting a response at all. Ben Simmons did have a good reason to not play, considering the fact that he had back surgery later on. However, it seems as though Simmons could have at least notified his teammates that he wouldn't be able to play rather than just be silent and leave the group chat. So you heard what the article had to say there, and you heard what Kevin Durant had to say. This is one of the reasons I have no issues with Kevin Durant wanting to leave the Brooklyn Nets. And let me quickly say this. For the LeBron fans, they keep asking me in the comment section, why don't you criticize KD? Why don't you criticize KD? I need you guys to do me a favor. Kevin Durant, let me just say it here, is not one of my favorite players in basketball. Not even close. He's not. So when you guys are like, I'm covering up for KD and all of these, no, I'm not covering up for anything. I'm giving you my opinion on what I think about the situation. Now, unfortunately, it's not what you want me to think, but that's how I feel. So please, kindly, stop asking me about my bias to KD. Nobody on this channel with any sense thinks that I'm biased about KD. At no point in time since we started doing NBA videos did I ever say that Kevin Durant is one of my favorite players. I've always said is Kobe, Kawhi, and Jordan. Please do me a favor and stop asking me that. If you want somebody to criticize KD, you have Shannon Sharpe and you have Nick Wright. Please. Isn't that enough for you guys? I just wanted to say it so you guys will stop asking me. I'm giving you my opinion on what I think about the situation. But back to the point, I just wanted to get that off my chest because these guys keep asking, oh, he's being biased to KD. He doesn't. Please, y'all need to cut that out. Please, it's a little bit too much. Back to my point. I already told you guys that Ben Simmons is wasting everybody's time. He's wasting everybody's time. Who do you know? What other NBA player does this? And the joke of it all, to go back to what Shaq had to say, he's not even that good. This is not me hating on Ben Simmons. This is what the numbers say. This is what the productivity tells you. If you look at other guys that have come into the NBA that took basketball seriously, they're really trying to prove. You look at a John Morant. For all of his antics, he's been improving. Look at a Paul George. Paul George came into the NBA. He's been improving. Look at Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis came into the NBA. He improved. Look at Pascal Siakam. He became the most improved player in the NBA. He's getting better. Other guys are getting better. Meanwhile, Ben Simmons is just up there looking good for the chicks and the chatty patties, to quote Damon Dash. These are the only people that are impressed by this dude. And then you have other guys out there who are babying him. And they believe that they're doing young guys a favor by doing this type of stuff. So that's what I think about Ben Simmons. Back to KD. I think Kevin Durant's biggest mistake, and I think we all know this right now, was passing up an opportunity to play with LeBron or Kawhi. Now, some people can say, well, I can understand why he doesn't want to play with LeBron because LeBron, okay, fine, I can understand that. But he did have an opportunity to play with Kawhi Leonard when Kawhi Leonard tried to recruit him, and instead he opted to play with Kyrie Irving, which was his friend, which is understandable. But now I think all of us can agree that was the wrong decision to make, right? And we recently got a report that Kevin Durant was supposed to be meeting with the Brooklyn Nets ownership. Well, after hearing this report, according to what Rick Bucher had to say, well, at first I thought maybe they were going to be able to amend the situation and, find a way to fix it. But now it seems like if KD decides it doubled down and said, I still want out, I can understand it. Who wants to play with this guy? Who wants to play with this guy? Who wants to be a Brooklyn Net? Like, let's be serious. So to me, these are my thoughts and opinions of what I want to know from you guys. What do you think about the report according to Rick Bucher? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We'll catch y'all on the next episode.